Once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess. She wasn't your typical princess, though. Oh no, not her. While other princesses spent their days getting ready for royal parties and balls, she much preferred climbing trees and exploring the forest. The princess was also known for her kindness. She would often sneak out of the castle at night to visit the sick and the poor. One day, while the princess was out exploring, she came across a wounded bird. She carefully picked it up and took it back to the castle. She put the bird in a cage and went to get some food. But when she returned, she couldn't believe what she saw. The bird had transformed into a handsome prince. The princess was scared at first, but the prince explained that he was under a spell and that the only way to break the spell was for someone to take care of him until he was well enough to fly back to his own kingdom. Of course, the princess agreed, and soon the two became best friends. They played board games together, and the prince told her amazing stories about his travels all over the world. The princess had never met anyone like the prince, and she began to develop feelings for him. She started to worry that once he was well enough to leave, he would go back to his kingdom and forget all about her. One day, the prince did indeed say goodbye. He told the princess that he would never forget her kindness and flew away. The princess waved until she could no longer see him. Then she returned to the castle, sad that he was gone. But just a few days later, a royal messenger arrived. He told the princess that the king and queen of the neighboring kingdom were looking for a bride for their son, the prince, and they had heard that she was the most beautiful girl in the whole kingdom. The princess was shocked. Could this be the same prince she had met in the forest? When the messenger left, she quickly went to the royal tailor and ordered a beautiful new gown. She also invited her best friend, the queen, to come with her to the neighboring kingdom. As soon as she saw the prince again, she knew that he was the same one from the forest. And as he looked at her, she saw the memory of their friendship return to his eyes. The two were so happy to see each other again. They talked for hours, and the princess knew that she still had feelings for him. But then, something very strange happened. The prince's parents approached them and asked if they had met before. When the princess and the prince heard this, they both quickly said no. The king and queen were confused, but they decided to let their son choose who he wanted to marry. After all, it was his happiness that mattered most. The prince and the princess were overjoyed. They embraced, and the princess thought to herself, "I can't wait to tell my best friend, the queen, all about the handsome prince from the forest." Then the princess and the prince began planning their wedding. They invited all of the people from the neighboring kingdom and the princess's own kingdom. There were so many people that the king and queen had to build extra stables for all of the horses. On the day of the wedding, the church was decorated with beautiful flowers. The princess wore her favorite gown, and the prince looked very handsome in his royal robes. When the princess walked down the aisle, everyone gasped. They had never seen anyone more beautiful. And when the prince saw his bride, he thought to himself, "I am the luckiest man in the world." After the ceremony, everyone celebrated with a feast. The princess and the prince danced the night away. They were so happy that they had found each other. And as they danced, the princess couldn't help but think to herself, "This is the best day of my life. I can't wait to spend the rest of my days with my handsome prince." And as the sun set over the kingdom, the princess and the prince stood hand in hand and watched the fireworks light up the night sky. They knew that they were meant to be together.